drive home on Hot 103. Folks, looks like that storm is headed right for us. Gonna put some gas in my Furman generator, stop by the ABC Fine Wine and Spirits, and of course, watch Mike's weather page. Y'all stay safe out there.
All right, we did it. What's up, everybody? It's always after a few days off, it's always a very big question mark if things are going to work or not. But so far, it's so good. Oh, now I'm distorted. Hang on a minute. Let me get this noise isolation off of here. There we go, Brew Crew. That'll sound good and fresh. So good morning. How's everybody doing? Had a few days off for Daytona. Guess what dog's on my lap today? Little Longo. He was the first one that came up, so he is going to say hello. And I don't think he's gotten any bigger. I don't think so. He yawns a lot. He was a huge hit at Daytona. Oh my God, he met so many people. He was such a good dog. He ran up to everybody and just... He is so good. Really enjoyed the race. Had some big thunderstorms over there. Wasn't bothered at all by the cars. We had some big jet flyovers. He did pretty good with that. What did you think about the flyover? Was that scary? Huh? Was that scary? Oh, man, I was tired last night, Linda. Yes. I'm still a little tired. Catching up. I lost my voice. Met so many people this weekend. Must have talked for hours. But we're going to get into it. Hey, Karen, what's up? We're going to get rolling about 9:30. I always say hello for a few minutes. Good morning, Brew Crew. Got our diehards over there. Miss Shelly Ross. Trip to Speedway was great, Harold. Thank you. Good morning, Nick. What's up? We got a lot of fun things to talk about. Just want to say hello. Tropics are kind of slow. Far Farnon. I had to look it up last night. It's Fernan. I thought it was Fernan. It's Farnon or something. If we have any Farnons or Fernands out there, I apologize. But you know me. I don't do very well with names. At all. I wish Longo could fit in the screen a little better. We could widen the angle out a little bit maybe. Oh man, so we met so many folks. Hey Jay, good morning. It was such a great weekend over at Daytona. Got a couple challenge coins. I wanted to shout out to my buddy Chas here from Edgewater. These are some really cool challenge coins. You know I collect them now. That's a really awesome one. Got a horse on it. So had a tons of folks from Edgewater come out and say hello. Had the bomb squad come say hello. SWAT team came and hung out. FHP came out. Radiation teams came out. Kate, if you're watching, we had Daytona Fire Rescue come hang out, and cool story. Emily was telling them that she wanted a Tito's bottle because the new thing that is pretty trendy, I guess, is a beta fish in a Tito's bottle. Well, Kate, if you're watching, thank you. Kate went and got one and surprised Emily with that for a college housewarming gift. So we're going to say goodbye. Say goodbye, Longo. Come on. Don't be stubborn. So that was cool. Had some firewood from Daytona Fire Rescue. Brought me some firewood. So, Cassandra, good morning. God, who else we came by? Oh my, it was such a great time. So, we'll get into all that for sure. Tons of rain, Lisa Clark. We got more. We had a surprise rain shower this morning. Did anybody get one? It's crazy. Another lingering front this week. We've had like 3 in a row. Got another one coming down. These fronts are inching lower and lower. Kind of eliminating the Atlantic hurricane season when we don't have a Bermuda high set up. We get a lot of fish storms. Doesn't mean we're not going to have a busy end of the year. I'm going to talk a lot more about that tomorrow. Charleston, Bruce, we got a Brew crew talking about all that rain. That was Longo, Tyler. The original Louis, we'll show Louis tomorrow. Louis's been around for 7 years. Farnon. Cooler temps for a lot of folks, Ryan. Yes, it's crazy. Unbelievable. Let's put this up while we say a few more hellos. So there's that lingering front. Look at all that lightning down in the Bahamas. A little bit in the Gulf. Invest 99 went poof. We're going to talk about that. Longo. The story of Longo, a lot of people ask me, we're huge Rays fans, big Longoria fans, and we were listening to Longoria when Hunter passed. We took pictures with Longoria, a couple of his bobbleheads and stuff, and it just kind of made sense, you know. Longo, Louis and Longo, and this dog is long. We didn't think about it. He's got long legs, he's got a long neck. He's like a long neck Frenchie. So we named him Longo before we realized he was long. So he's Longo for more than just one reason or two. Oh, Cocoa Beach, we were just kind of hanging out there. So, man, I had so much stuff going on last week. When Aaron passed by, I got some good video of the waves. It wasn't, it wasn't dramatic, but it was definitely more waves than normal. Definitely more waves than normal. All right. We'll get a couple things I'll pop up while we get going. Here's a radar, by the way. Look at that front line. That's why it rained this morning. Look at all that rain out in the Gulf pumping in. That's a front line just lingering. That's going to be lingering for a few days. We're going to talk about that. So that's kind of, and it probably feels a little fallish to the north. Anybody up here in the Panhandle and the Gulf and the East Coast? Does it feel like fall a little bit? I mean, that front, maybe not so much today, but tomorrow for sure it's going to be pushing on through. Couple things here. ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. I got to hang out with Tyler Reddick for a little while, and Sarah got her picture. She felt like she was a superstar. Tyler really talked to her a lot. He's a NASCAR driver, so he did a meet and greet right by the speedway. We had a really good time hanging out, so Sarah enjoyed that. Another thing I did that was pretty special I want to get into here in a little bit from a trip was group reached out to me, Monarch Academy. A lot of great kids there, and they had me speak, a couple hundred kids, and what a awesome hour that was, meeting young kids that knew more about weather than I think I did. So I really appreciate them. Sarah came along for that too. So I got a little bit more than just racing this weekend for sure. A couple things coming up. Then we're going to talk weather in a minute, I promise. This Friday, Tampa Bay Brewing Company, we're going to be doing the canning on Wednesday. So watch for a video on that. Now look who wants to come back up again. Look. He puts his little paws up. I was like, dude, you just want it down. Now you want back up again. I think the dogs are tired. So this Friday, we're doing our meet and greet beer release party at Tampa Bay Brewing Company. That's right here in West Chase, which is basically Oldsmar, West Tampa. It's free, 5 to 7. Come by and hang out. See the dogs. We'll have the Storm Chaser truck there if you want to come sit in the Storm Chaser and push the horn button. We'd love to see you. Pick up a 4-pack of the new Spaghetti Model IPA. That'll also be available at ABC. You can get it shipped to you, and they're going to be located all across the state of Florida here. And it's got the tribute to Hunter on the can. I'm excited about that. Also, this weekend, I'm going to be at the Florida's largest home show again, talking weather with all of y'all. Labor Day weekend, Saturday, Sunday. So watch for times on that. But I'll definitely be over there for a few hours each day. I always love going over there and talking to Floridians about storm protection and hurricanes and sharing stories. So come by that this Saturday and Sunday. That'll be a lot of fun. I think it's at the fairgrounds. I believe it. Yep, Florida Fairgrounds this weekend. There I am. Looks like a mug shot. That's not an FBI wanted poster. But we have FBI people watching. I will confirm with them that that's not a poster. Correct? All right. So I'm going to read your questions here in a second. That's for sure. All right. A couple more things. There's a picture of me with the kids. It was really cool. They had a million questions. It was so cute. A couple more things. There's NASCAR. I was at Daytona. It was fantastic. Their flyover. Oh, man, the helicopters. That was just amazing as the sun went down. That was a good moment right there. I took these pictures. A lot of fun. There's the girls. They always have an awesome fireworks display at the end of the event. So that's a tradition. I got the kids every year with the fireworks at Talladega too. A lot of fun. There's the boys. They were enjoying it. Yes, we had a fire pit. I think I was the only one at Daytona with a fire pit. We all had a pool though. And then that was the funniest story of all. And then we'll get into weather. Apparently the guys at Anheuser-Busch, which owns Busch Light, saw me with a Miller can, and the day before, the next day they showed up at the campsite with like infinite 24 packs. So now I want to drink Busch Light. It's good actually. So yep, call me a redneck. Anyway, so we'll talk a lot more about questions at the end. Andrew, anniversary yesterday. Yep, 33 years ago. 1992, late season storm. My nose is about ready to sneeze. Angel, we at the race? La Niña, yep, we're going to talk about that, Ryan Anderson. 85% humidity. Joy, you must be south of the front line. How did we have a kissing booth? Not this time. That Alexis, we did that years ago at Talladega. You remember? Remember that? Would you want to kiss people? Oh, Redmond, I got lucky on the rain forecast, but we definitely had a pattern that was pretty predictable. It was going to rain and push off to the Atlantic, and it did, so that was good. All right, buddy, I'm going to put you down and talk weather. So everybody say goodbye to Longo. Say bye, buddy. You're so good. You're so good. I'm going to have to keep him on my lap, though, because he actually will want to be back up here again. All right, so this is a graphic I put out this morning. So last night I talked about NBIS 99. It had a lot of convection entering the islands down there. I was surprised. Whoa. And really was surprised. But then it did what it was supposed to do. It went poof. And this morning the convection's almost gone. So the current satellite there in the top right, forward speed and a lot of wind shear. Just they call that the Caribbean graveyard sometimes because storms have to pass through that. And I'm sorry, I might have sneezed. And there you go. So yesterday the chances were 40%, and now it's 0. So even the NHC went way down on their chances this morning, down to 0%. So poof is good. What's up, Ian? So there you go. Now, yes, we'll always keep an eye on it. Any tropical wave entering the Western Caribbean. But there's a lot less models today than there were yesterday, suggesting that we could see some sort of ensemble or something showing us. So probably going to push south, and that's it. So there you go. Here's what it looks like currently. Big old blob, fast winds pushing it along, a lot of wind shear. It's going to run into all kinds of wind. We're gonna have winds from the west, lower winds from the east. It's just going to get all tore up here in the next couple days. So there's the current satellite. Here's some of that wind shear for Wednesday, and this is more overall wind shear, but you can see a lot of this wind shear ahead of it as our system tries to move west. So the core of this thing is probably going to get pushed to the south because of all that wind shear. Now, if you can make it through it, who knows? But very little question mark at this point. So I'm not going to make something up that's not there with that. Here's the latest spaghetti models on tropical tidbits. Yes, there's a few. Continue on. Most of them show a fizzle. 12Z. Oh, you know what? I don't even think it's. I think it's dissolved. I don't even think it's an invest anymore. Actually, so we're not. It's not even an invest anymore. That's why. So these are old spaghetti. Yuck. Anybody eat old spaghetti? Jay, no. This is going to be almost 8%. Morning, David Haynes. No more invest. So I shouldn't even show you this. It's not even there. Now, long range ensembles, we always share these in the mornings. These are 10 days out. We're going to talk about this lingering frontal line. Sometimes we can get little action from that. Most of the time, if we get anything, it goes off that direction. GFS has one ensemble now. That's saying maybe it could reemerge. GFS or Euro has none. Didn't have any yesterday. So this little 99 is probably a big X. And this is taking us out to September 4th. Peak season is September 11th. We're almost peak season here. There's a couple waves coming off here that could be designated, but look at this direction starting to show already. When we have a lot of frontal lines, the Bermuda high is like non-existent. We get a lot of fish storms. And some of these GFS members are starting to show that. So, no worries. Okay? It's peak season, so there's always going to be little spaghetti lines here and there. But this is, this has kind of been the pattern a little bit with this non-existent high pressure system. Almost like a doorway out of here. I don't think anybody predicted these front lines to be lingering like they have been. Reminds me of 22 with Ian. We get frontal lines. It could definitely be a fortune teller toward the end of the season if we were to get any waves down there trying to develop. And we're going to talk a lot more about that tomorrow. Oh my God, Kim, what are you talking about? Hip replacement. God, I keep getting these spam calls. What's up with that? Oh, leftover spaghetti good? Heck yeah, man, as long as you got a lot of cheese. Gotta have a lot of that. Put my challenge coins up. Chas, if you see me, I talked about them, buddy. Thank you. Got 2 of them. My sniffles are fine. It's just me. I don't know why you got notifications. 9:19 pretty much every day though. All right, so ensembles aren't showing anything. So here's that front I'm talking about. This is today's surface chart, and it's pushing all this rain down into Florida. We've had a frontal line that's been stalled out for weeks. and weeks and weeks. Crazy. This is a temperature anomaly map up here showing temperatures on a 5-day average overall about 10 degrees cooler than normal. Obviously, it doesn't really reach the Gulf too much. Now, we got a little bit of cooler weather in the Panhandle, but we got cooler weather on the East Coast. You know, this is a 5-day average, so overall, that just combines low and high temperatures. Overall, it's pretty cool. Cold front. It's real. It's also keeping that Bermuda high away. So that's kind of a sneaky little weather pattern that's been trending for sure. Talking about that rain, so the last few days we had heavy rain in coastal Carolina, Georgia there. Yellow is 4 inches plus. We had a record rainfall in Tampa yesterday. West Coast, has been getting this flow. So the West Coast has got a lot more than this. Helped us a lot in Daytona, obviously. But this flow, frontal flow from that lingering front has brought in a lot of moisture, and this is 3-day rain totals. So you got a lot. And it's going to continue pretty much about here down south this time. And here's the frontal line tomorrow. Tricky, man. Any old timers out there? Remember these fronts draping this far south in August? Now September maybe, but August? That's tomorrow's surface chart. And here's Wednesday's surface chart. That's just going to linger rains for the next few days. A little bit for Texas, but mainly Florida. And we got another front coming down. Here's rainfall for the next 5 days. Kind of showing you basically where the rain's going to be, obviously. Heavy rain, Florida Peninsula. I got another rain map. I'm going to show you. Showing you pretty much most of this rain falls the next 3 or 4 days through Wednesday across Florida. Now, sometimes these frontal lines can linger and kick off something tropical. There has been some ensembles showing you that. This is another graphic that kind of shows you possible areas to watch. And this is from the front line. Now, these always typically go off this direction. So, no concern. It's just when we have fronts over the Atlantic, sometimes they can spin up a little low pressure area. So, another fish storm. What's after F? What's the next live after F? Hey, by the way, we're on TikTok. I can't read comments over there, but we're back live again. Sometimes they let you go live, sometimes they don't. But we're also on, obviously, Facebook, YouTube, and X, and NWP Chat. There you go. The Azor is high. Yeah, Azor is high. That's about the truth of it. Everybody always wants to have a lot of names in a season, and I'm like, well, you might have 19 fish storms. Does it really matter? If you don't get any landfalling systems, it seems like a bust year. But believe it or not, we already got 1, A, B, C, D, E, F. We got 6 storms already. But average year is 14. But I do believe we're going to have a big push at the end of the season. I do believe it. And I'll tell you a lot more about that tomorrow. We're going to talk a lot more about La Niña tomorrow. Any of y'all go to Daytona and meet Longo? Longo met a lot of people this week. Didn't you, buddy? He tired? Gabrielle is the next name. All right. All right, so there we go. That could be a little area to watch. All right, let's talk about the 48. Let's look at the next 48 hours. The 12Z just ran. Talk about that. It's kind of an idea. There's these rains coming across the state. Here comes that sneeze I told everybody about. Nope. That woke you up. What was that? Nothing bothers this guy. So this is the rainfall the next 2 days, and you can see where this front line is lingering. We're going to have a lot of rain possibly through today. Look at that. This is today. It's pushing through, and then it kind of fills out. We're going to have another round tomorrow. Daytime heating kicks in. See, this is tonight. But look, morning rains again. We're going to have those sneaky morning rains tomorrow. Look at that. 2 days, man. Deja vu. Isn't it crazy? Next 2 days. Lingering front. Crazy. It's like 3 or 4 weeks in a row now. Here's a rainfall prediction. Today, Florida West Coast, West Central Coast getting a lot of rain. We might have some isolated flooding today again. I had a bunch of flood warnings yesterday. This is rainfall today. Through tomorrow. And then through Thursday. A little bit, there you go. That's through Friday morning. But notice the big pocket. All this is dry because this is rainfall through Friday night. Because we got a front line stuck. So what's the temperature up there? I bet you it's quite nice. Well, we can look at southeast here. We only look at this is only temperature, but I mean 80s. Highs of 80s isn't too bad. Look at the lows though. 60s in the Panhandle. These are lows, man. We're down to 50s, possibly crossing the Florida-Georgia line, Alabama there. That's for Tuesday. Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! 40s. In the blue almost. Isn't that crazy? Let's take a look at some dew points. Let's see. Oh God, Hunter. Oh, Hunter. Let's see if we got any other cool stuff. Let's do this one here. Nope, that's rainfall. Trying to find. I don't see what I want. I wanted to get more. I guess we can do humidity on the Euro. Just kind of showing you that dry push here Tuesday. Almost no moisture tomorrow across the south, minus the peninsula. Oh, let's get some dew points here. Dew points in the 50s. That makes it feel like fall. This is tomorrow. Dew points in the 50s, 60s. That's Thursday too. So crazy, man. Look at those dew points. Awesome, huh? So here's La Niña. So they announced a couple days ago we're going to be in La Niña for the wintertime. Or the end of hurricane season, end of winter. La Niña. What is La Niña? Well, the jet stream compared to El Nino is not dipping as much, and we have typically a drier winter in that purple area, and typically warmer and below that jet stream. Remember, jet stream usually it's cold fronts, so colder to the north, wetter can mean snow, wherever that jet stream pattern hangs out. So when a jet stream lifts like that for La Niña, a little warmer, a little drier across the south and the east, and across to the west. Now we do get some random cold fronts. Doesn't mean that. No more Shelly. I promise not to sniff anymore. I feel good. So like last year was La Niña, almost La Niña, but we still had that crazy cold front that came down. So we can still get some cold fronts that come south. It's just usually the cold front's a little to the north, or the jet stream. So that's what a La Niña pattern means in the wintertime. If you're curious, that's what we're going to be in. If that report came out last week, Here you go. And blue is La Niña. And here's September, October, November, December, January. And blue is favored for La Niña. But since we're talking hurricane season, could mean a little bit more for hurricane season. Okay. September, October, November, still very active in the hurricane season. Western Caribbean, Gulf Coast, we've got these fronts coming down. All that's going to play a part in the tropics into the season. And that's the spot to watch. Typically, September and October is the Western Caribbean and Gulf. So, I'm going to go into more great detail tomorrow, I promise, about La Niña and end of the season and some long-range temperature outlooks and water temperature outlooks, precipitation outlooks, and, and then we're not even halfway through the season yet. Right here. So, this is yet to come. And we have La Niña kicking in. Could mean a busy year end of the season, which we've seen a lot in the last couple of years. Okay. So don't think that the season's over by any stretch, especially since we got La Niña coming into the play. And I'm going to look forward to that tomorrow to really break it all down, talk about it. Let's look at the last few runs here on Tropical Tidbits for GFS. There's that frontal line early next week that possibly could get going. 00Z. Trying to load. Here we go. There's that frontal line lifting off early next week. That's kind of more like a nor'easter, actually. But nothing there. We got a high exiting wave, maybe, but that's so far away. Nothing showing. Let's go to the euro. Here's some old frontal line juice next Friday, Saturday. I mean, this keeps showing up a little bit. I don't know if that's more of a nor'easter or not. But first part of next week, low pressure lingering here off the Atlantic keeps showing up in a lot of the models. Euro AI, there's a frontal line spinning off to Never Never Land. Early next week, something, so that could be, that could be left over. I mean, I don't know if it would affect anybody or not. Canadian showing you frontal line. This is Friday this week. Frontal line trying to get going. Maybe up there in Newfoundland. Here's that leftover front. So another front coming to see next week. So this whole little area, this is middle part of next week. Interesting. Showing up. Probably have another front coming down. It looks like this front just lingers. Yeah, it's more of a lingering front. So this front we got now just lingers. Look at this thing. It's going to linger all week long. Look at that. That's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So really, it's the old lingering front. Might get going next week. But if it goes off to the northeast, guess what? Everybody's happy. We'll go back and look at ensembles one more time. I'm not going to look at Google AI. It hasn't done very good at all with the model formation. Really, Euro GFS ensembles have been best this season for kind of sniffing out areas. Sniffing. All right, so 15-day ensembles. 15 days on the Euro. Somebody, look at that. That's that curving. So looks like most consistency with models is we're going to see anything off of Africa spin off to high, maybe, but here's that general idea. couple of here and there, but nothing really. And then GFS, let's see here, Atlantic, 15-day. Let's look at these curving off a little bit. So really the old front line is really the only thing might be popping in the next couple of days to talk about. Things can change. That's what we got. So, hey, Loretta Reed, how you, or Ben, girl? Mary Ann, good morning. Thank you, Maine, USS Maine, good morning. A lot of flooding in the middle U.S., so from this frontal lines that are just kind of lingering. We've had this whole area. I'll show you the next 5 days. This is today. A little bit of flooding here in Florida, West Coast. This is that flow off of the Gulf. See that? This is today. Here's tomorrow. Pretty much middle U.S. Here's Wednesday, same spot. Here's Thursday. Here's Saturday or Friday. So all this stuff staying in the central, middle U.S. the next few days. So we got a little bit of flood chance today in Florida. We'll see what kind of rainfall we get. I showed it to you. We could get a couple inches in spots. Let's look at the HRR. Sometimes that'll show you more isolated possibilities. We get any rain training. You know what rain training is, buddy? Rain train? Rain train? I think he's 16 weeks this week. Julie's not here, so I don't know. Well, you yawn a lot. You know that? All right, let's see if we got any high predictions for rain training. Let's see. Total precipitation. Yeah. See, this is where I look at things like this. See this little pocket right here? Whoa, that's due tomorrow. That's quite a bit. Let me slow down a little bit. I'm looking more like today. It's like today we got this one little pocket here showing 8 inches. That's just offshore Manatee County. But if that little pocket goes 10 miles east, then somebody could get 10 inches. And we got little pockets here showing up 5-6 inches of rain. You know, this is the HRR, and that's going to change every model run. Here's see the pocket moved up, so that's 8 inches. This is rain training is what produces flash floods. You gonna yawn again? So definitely could see some west central flooding today. Here's some a little bit to the north. This little pocket could, if it went to Pinellas County. So yeah, and then 12Z tomorrow. So we definitely could see 2-day rain totals through today and tomorrow reaching some pretty big numbers. Pasco, Hernando, Polk County a little bit down there. So that's kind of a big weather story. We'll see what comes out of that. So anyway. All right. Well, we're going to say hello for a few more minutes. Close out with our good friends from Furman. I saw a bazillion Furman generators in the infield at Daytona. Bazillion. Was just a couple years ago, I didn't see one out there. They're doing a Labor Day sale, 50% off on some select models, so check it out. It includes shipping. You can also get 30% off with MWP30 and free shipping. So never a bad time to get a generator. My phone is rebooted down here. I was wondering what it was doing. So big thanks to Furman and all they do for the storm industry. They do a lot of charity work. They do a large amount of donations across not just the U.S., but across the world. And if you're Lowe's, you can get them at Lowe's and Costco too. But MWP30 at the top, they got a bazillion different, I like that word bazillion. I said it twice. Let me show you my favorite. I saw one of these this weekend. I like this hybrid series right here. This big old guy right here. Look at that one, 9,400 watts. Holy crap. That one's sold out. That was probably the one I liked right there. I think they got a newer one coming out, they said. See if they had a... Oh, these are refurbished. Refurbished ones are even cheaper. But anyway, the one that's sold out, obviously, I must have talked about it too much. Any one of these quiet hybrid series are awesome. But this little unit right here is phenomenal, man. Electric start, 50 watt. Crazy. It'll run on propane and natural gas. And gas. Push button start. And it's beautiful. Because you got wheels to it. Look at that. 30 amp. Oh, it's got a 50 amp. That's right. 50 amp. You plug your RV right into that thing. Look at that. USB outlets. DC 12 volt outlet. Crazy. So, all right. So tomorrow we're going to get into more of the La Niña and hurricane season end of the year. Invest 99 kind of went poof. Lingering front. I guess the big weather today will be watching for flooding rains across Florida. West Central Florida. Panhandle is actually experiencing fall-like conditions. Hey, Bobby. Yep, good to be back. Hey, where's James? James, what's up, buddy? I was wondering how you're doing. I saw Karen, Richard over there. Anything else I missed? Any good? Barris, good morning. Thank you. Terry, good morning. We'll hang out at Brew Crew for a while afterwards. Mary got 2 dual fuels. You're double awesome. Can't believe the rain. I seriously want to get some flooding today. I might end up going out and checking it out. These little isolated heavy pockets of rain can be bad. David, come on, man. They're cheap enough. EK, today and tomorrow, all the heaviest rains across Pinellas. They're very, very isolated. You just don't know where they're going to set up, but there's a lot of juice out there. See these little pockets here? Actually, a couple cool radar sites I got. You can go Google radar. This one's really neat. Tabletop Greek, the low off September 3rd. Well, not worried, but just that's the old frontal line that could be lingering from this week's front. So there's heavy rain currently up in Elfers area. But all this is flooding, coming in, flooding in from the Gulf. I look at things too like P-Watt. This tells you about a moisture in the atmosphere, and there's a lot of it, I bet you. Look at that. The heaviest P-Watt. P-Watt's precipitable water in the atmosphere. Look at that. The heaviest. It's warning me that some of the data is not correct. Okay. But look at this. The heaviest P-Watt, which is obvious. What the heck's going on here? Is right here. So all that moisture from that frontal line. Anytime you get 2 inches plus in the P-Watt, that usually means it's heavy rain and it's fixing to rain. It's flowing across the Gulf, so. No! No, I did not hear about that flooding in Sarasota. When was that? Recently? I know, Tina, right? They're doing our yard. I'm just glad he's doing it. Because I just hope he doesn't sink the lawnmower. Shelly from Panama City, good morning. Good luck tomorrow, EK. Shout out to my buddy Dusty, going through some stuff today. Thinking I'd be Dusty. But anyway, all right, we made it to 10. I appreciate it all. As always, good to be back. Pretty much have nothing going on now until Talladega. So we'll probably be live pretty much every Monday, Friday, unless Emily's got softball or something. But we'll keep it right here. I'll keep you up to date. If we're streaming live on TikTok, that's awesome, but I don't see comments. I'll start putting my phone up for that. I just didn't plan on it working today. If it works tomorrow, I'll have the comments up. Oh, yesterday. Okay. See, the isolated flooding is just so random where it's going to set up. You just don't know. Radar is your friend. I do suggest WeatherWise is a really good radar. If you're looking for a good radar with a lot of good bells and whistles and toys on it. So, all right. So tomorrow we'll do a little bit more tropics talking, more into the season. Look at La Niña and what we might be seeing for that. So I'm gonna have a lot of good graphics for you next live tomorrow. I'm gonna do a little 90-second video here in a minute to get everybody up to date on that. My little weather in a nutshell. These are nuts, by the way. They're peanuts. Everybody always predicts what the heck they are. They're peanuts. They're not almonds. They might be almonds. Almonds are nuts, right? Mounds.